so case manager Ryan knew he would have to widen his search.
We assumed that the family could have gone anywhere in the world to get away from what was happening.
And as a specialist, he knew exactly where to start.
For overseas research, you're largely referring to passenger lists, which are very, very useful in finding out which ports certain people pass through and where people may be emigrating to.
The team were in luck. They unearthed a passenger record for Derek's uncle William, showing that when he left Burma, he headed for Australia. If his descendants were still there, this could be just the breakthrough they needed.
Due to data restrictions in Australia, it's hard to search through vital indexes that may have been relatively recent. It's also harder to search through recent electoral registers. Luckily, in this case, we were able to find an obituary record for the uncle, which led us to his children in Australia.
This was great news. By tracing William's 2 children, the team had found their first heirs. But the search did not end there, as they still needed to track down Derek's other cousin, Susan.
The paternal uncle Clement actually ended up in the UK. We were able to find an incoming passenger list that suggested that he boarded over here. Once we knew that Clement Lynsdale had entered the UK, we knew that we could look for a death entry for him. Lynsdale is a very uncommon surname. The easiest thing for us to do was to find his death entry, to apply for his death certificate, and hopefully somebody in his family would be listed as the informant. Luckily, we found out that his daughter was listed as the informant on his death certificate, which enabled us to track her down and let her know that she's going to be due some money from her cousin's estate.
For Derek's cousin Susan, the news came completely out of the blue.
I was quite gobsmacked, because it never occurred to me that, I would inherit anything. I mean, I had no idea about Derek, whether he was alive or what, so it was a surprise. I would say that from my memories of him as a child, he had no malice in him at all. Derek was always known in the family as being very quiet and very much under his mother's influence, and as far as we knew, had never married. He and his parents bought a house in Welling, where he still lived after they both died.
Being contacted by the heir hunters has caused Susan to reflect on her early childhood spent in Burma with her cousin Derek.
From what I can remember of Burma, it was lovely. The Burmese are laid-back people, really, very relaxed. I never had any angst. The first time I read, which I suppose is what shook me so much, was when we were bombed. And suddenly, this lovely, idyllic childhood world was totally shattered.